Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone today? Sun is shining. It's supposed to rain today. Um, Later on this afternoon anyway. I don't really know what time. Um, but after do the reading, I'm gonna go play outside. I got some things I need to do outside. Um, which will be at a later video, just FYI. Anyway, today, I am Luann, by the way. I have been reading the Bible since January the 1st. I started with Genesis 1:1, and I am reading out of the King James Version. And I know I have butchered a lot of the names in there, and I truly apologize for that. Anyway, I am in First Kings chapter 3. Good morning, Rebecca, and good morning, Coupon Gill. So let's jump right on in there. First Kings chapter 3. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh the king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter, and brought her into the city of David, until he made an end of the building of his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall of the Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built in unto the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. When Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast shown unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but a little child. I know not only to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for a multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thy enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discernment judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy word. So lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any rise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there two women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we two in the house. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight, and took my son from beside me, while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, the one said, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other said, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half to the other. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king for her vows earned upon her son. And she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other side let it neither be not mine nor thine, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment. Chapter 4. That is a good lesson. I like that. I knew that was in the Bible somewhere. I just didn't know where. I'm going to highlight a lot of that. Chapter 4. So King Solomon was king over all Israel, and these were the princes which he had. Azarah, the son of Zadok the priest, Elipra and Aha, the sons of Jishah, scribes, Josaphat, the son of Alad, the recorder, and Benai, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests. And Azazar, the son of Nathan, was over the officers, and Zeddah, the son of Nathan, was principal officer and the king's friend. And Ashar was over the household, and Adonam, the son of Abda, was over a tribute, and Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household, each man his month in a year, and made provision. And these are their names: the son of Hur in Mount Ephraim, the son of Dekar in Malachaz, and in Shalabim, and Beth Shemesh, and Elam Beth An, the son of Heshad in Arbo. To him pertained to Soshah in all the land of Hepher, and the son of Amadad in all the region of Dor, which had Telhath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. And Banana, the son of Alad, to him pertained Tadnach and Megiddo, and all of Beshin, which is by Zartana beneath Jezreel, from Bethshina to Abel-Mahal, even unto the place that is beyond Jokanam, the son of Geber in Ramoth Gilead. To him pertain the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, which are in Gilead. To him also pertained the region of Argog, which is in Bashan, 80 great cities with walls and brazen bars. Gail, coupon Gail, I'm gonna stop a minute reading. I hope you find answers to whatever the medical problem you're having, Gail. Alright, go back to reading. Ahonadab, the son of Iddo, had Mahanam. Amaz was in Nephtali. He also took Basmath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Banana, the son of Huasha, was in Asher and in Loth. Jeshaphat, the son of Peru, in Ishgar. Shema, the son of Elah, in Benjamin. Geber, the son of Ur, was in the country of Gilead, in the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and he was the only officer which was in the land. Judah and Israel were many, as the sun which is by the sea, in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour, and 80 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen, and 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep, beside harts and roebucks, and fallow deer and fatted fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tipsah even to Ezra, over all the kings on this side of the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And those officers provide victual for King Solomon, and for all that came unto King Solomon's table, every man in his month. They lacked nothing. Barley also and straw for the horses and dormitories brought they unto the place where the officers were, every man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding, exceeding much in largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, for all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Charcoal, and Darda, the sons of Mahoah, and his fame was in all nations round about. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto hyssop, that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of the fowl, and of the creeping things, and of fishes. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all the kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. Chapter 5. And Hiram king of Tyre sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father, for Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build a house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversity nor evil occurrent. And behold, I purpose to build a house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build a house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants, and unto thee will I give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. And it came to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over his great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou saw thy desire concerning timber of cedar, and concerning timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them by sea and floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me, and will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them, and thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom as he promised, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. And the king Solomon raised a Levi out of all Israel, and the Levi was 30,000 men, and he sent them to Lebanon. 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. and Adornum was over the Levi. And Solomon had 70,010 that bare burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains, besides the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought great stones and costly stones and huge stones to lay the foundation of the house. And Solomon's builders and harem builders did hew them and the stone quarters, so they prepared timber and stones to build the house. Chapter 6. Let's stop right here for a minute and say a little quick prayer for Coupon Gale. Dear Lord, put your healing hands and comforting arms on Gail. You know what the problem is that is wrong with her and what's going on. So please put your safety, your strength, and your healing hands and comforting arms around Miss Gail today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. Now let's get back to the Bible. We are on chapter 6. So let's jump right on in there. Let me get me a drink first. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign, or Israel, in the month of Ziph, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of the Lord. And the house which King Solomon built for the Lord, the length thereof was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and the height thereof 30 cubits. And the porch before the temple of the house 20 cubits was the length thereof according to the breadth of the house, and 10 cubits was the breadth thereof before the house. In the house he made windows of narrow lights, and against the wall of the house he built chambers around about against the walls of the house round about, both the temple and of the oracle he had made chambers round about. The nethermost chamber was 5 cubits broad, and the middle was 6 cubits broad, and the third was 7 cubits broad. For without in the wall of the house he had made narrow rests round about, that the beams should not be fastened in the walls of the house. And the house, when it was in building, was built of stone, made ready before it was brought thither, so that there was neither a hammer, nor axe, nor any tool of iron heard in the house while it was in the building. The door for the middle chamber was in the right side of the house, and they went up with winding stairs into the middle chamber, and out of the middle into the third. So he built the house and finished it, and covered the house with beams and boards of cedar. Then he built chambers against all the house, 5 cubits high, and they rested on the house with timber of cedar. And the word of the Lord came to Solomon, saying, concerning this house which thou art in building, if thou wilt walk in my statutes, and execute my judges, and keep all my commandments, to walk in them, then I will perform my word with thee, which I spake unto David thy father. Again. Oh, sorry about that. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will not forsake my people Israel. So Solomon built the house and finished it. And he built the walls of the house within were boards of cedar, both the floor of the house and the walls of the ceiling. And he covered them on the inside with wood, and covered the floor of the house with planks of fir. And he built 20 cubits on the sides of the house, both the floor and the walls, with boards of cedar. He even built them for it within, even for the article, even for the most high place, holy place. And the house that is the temple before it was 40 cubits long, and the cedar of the house within was carved with knobs and open flowers, all with cedar, and there was no stone seen. And the ark he prepared in the house wherein to set there the ark of the covenant of the Lord. And the article in the forepart was 20 cubits in length, and the 20 cubits in breadth, and 20 cubits in the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and so covered the altar which was of cedar. So Solomon overlaid the house within were pure gold, and he made a partition by the chains of gold before the oracle, and he overlaid it with gold. And the whole house he overlaid with gold until had finished all the house. Also the whole altar that was by the oracle he overlaid with gold. And wherein the oracle he made 2 cherubs of olive tree, and each 10 cubits high, and 5 cubits was the one wing of the cherub, and 5 cubits of the other wing of the cherub. And from the uttermost part of the one wing unto the uttermost part of the other were 10 cubits. And the other cherub was 10 cubits. Both the cherubs were of one measure and one size. The height of the one cherub was 10 cubits, and so was it on the other cherub. And he set the cherubs within the inner house, and they stretched forth the wings of the cherubs, so that the wing of one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other touched the other wall. And their wings touched one another in the midst of the house. And he overlaid the cherubs with gold. And he carved all the walls of the house round about with carved figurines of cherubs and palm trees and open flowers within and without. And the floor of the house he overlaid with gold within and without. And for the entering of the oracle he made doors of olive tree. The lintel and side posts were a fifth part of the wall. The 2 doors were of olive tree, and he carved upon them carvings of cherubs and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold, and spread gold upon the cherubs and upon the palm trees. So also made he for the door of the temple posts of olive trees, a fourth part of the wall, and the 2 doors were of fir trees. The 2 leaves of the one door were folding, and the 2 leaves of the other door were folding. And he carved thereon cherubs and palm trees and open flowers, and cherub covered them with gold fitted upon the carved work. And he built the inner court with 3 rows of huge stone and a row of cedar beams. And the 4th year was the foundation of the house of the Lord laid in the month of Ziph. And in the 11th year, in the month of Bul, which is the 8th month, was the house finished throughout all the parts thereof, and according to all the fashion of it. So he 7 years in building it. And I do believe I'm going to stop right there, and we will pick up chapter 7 tomorrow. But I have a few questions. I need to Google it. Google's always your friend. For the most part. Back in the day, did we have a different type calendar? Because it said the 8th month, which was the month of Ziph, and then there was a month of Bul. I just curious about that. I'm gonna have to Google it real quick. I'm gonna stop right there, and we're gonna Google it. We will Google it. Let me grab my phone here. It's plugged up. It's charging it, but we can Google it real quick. Okay, let's Google it. What was months in Bible time? See if that's what it means. Okay, the Hebrew year or Shana was thus made up of 12 lunar months, but since the month from new moon to new moon, okay, that didn't answer my question. Oh, okay, here it is. I found it. The Jewish calendar. Pull it up. All right, we got Tishra, Heshavan, Kislev, Tevet, Shevet, Adar 1, Adar 2, Nisan, Lyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, and Elul. That's just the Jewish calendar. Um, that was just very, very interesting. At least I did. Okay. All right. So we will, like every reading of my Bible, that was just an extra deal. I was just curious since it had that in the Bible. Um, Anywho, I like to end with prayer. So if y'all don't mind, bow your heads unless you're doing something, where you can't bow your heads because who knows. So I know some people do listen while they're driving. So let's bow your heads. Lord, please put your precious healing hands on Gail and put your healing hands upon my mama, my sweet mama today, and put your comforting arms around her as well. And Lord, be with her today. Be with them both today. And I know my sweet mama is feeling so and she's anxious about her surgery that she has in a couple of days. So please put your comforting arms around her at this time. And Lord, be with those people that are sick, whether they be at home or in the hospital, no matter the disease, no matter the illness. And Lord, I pray for all those people in the chat today and all those that will listen at a later date. I pray for their healing. I pray for their comfort, and I pray for their strength. And Lord, I also pray for all the truckers out there. I pray for their safety. And I pray that the gas prices go down where it'll be easier on them. And Lord, I also pray for the gas prices to go down for the rest of us as well. So it'd be a comfort to us and not where we have to choose between food or gas. Because I know there's some people out there that are having to choose that today, Lord. And Lord, I also pray for the rest of my family in this troubling times that we're living. And Lord, I also pray for everybody else's family in the troubling time that we're living. And Lord, I pray for Ukraine, I pray for Russia, and I pray for all those people over in Europe that I pray for their safety, Lord. And I pray for all the little babies and the little children. I pray for their safety as well. And oh Lord, I also pray for those people that don't know you. And I pray that you are shown to them in some way or the other. And Lord, I also pray for strength and courage and whatever our country needs. I pray for that. I pray for our country. I pray for our world. And I pray for our president. I pray that the evil is shown. But then Lord, I do understand some things may have to come to pass in order for you to come back. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So I will see everyone tomorrow, and everyone have a very blessed day.